Media Culture and Communications Studies at Wentworth is an interdisciplinary, project-based curriculum. We could call it a kind of rebooting of humanities and social sciences for a digital information era.
Media Culture and Communication Studies is a program that brings together technology with humanities research and courses in this department. So what we try and do with Media Culture and Communication Studies is look at sometimes traditional humanities topics like a history course such as the James Michael Curley course I've been working on, and try and integrate that with new technologies such as video like we're doing here, different types of analysis and drawing digitally on computers, and try and integrate these new approaches to basically dealing with humanities information to try and give us new answers to humanities data.
This semester, Professors Gleason and Gordon are using the Mayor Curley Mansion in Jamaica Plain, or in Jamaica Way, as a sort of base of study.
I find his history and the legacy that he's passed on very interesting.
Decided to take it because it was on Mayor Curley, and we were doing a curation, online curation, and it seemed a lot more interesting than any of the other topics. I could have chose between history or any of those topics, and it seemed like an online curation had much more technology involved in the whole process.
One of the goals of our course is to try and come up with a plan to get the Curley House used in a new way. And the way we've come up is, the plan we've come up with is to try and make the Curley House into a museum that will be about Curley's life, and not only showing sort of the good things about Curley's life, but also possibly the negative things, just to show, Curley warts and all as he was. And because we can't officially turn the house into a museum, we've decided to try and use this media, culture, and communications approach to try and create a virtual museum, so a computer-generated museum that we can actually see on the internet, because we can't make a real one at this point. And so what we've done in the class is we've tried to get our students into various student groups, where each group will look at a different room in the mansion and imagine ways that they could transform that room, at least in a digital sense, into a room that shows some aspect about Curley's life. So we're definitely teaching people new approaches to looking at history, but also how they look at the world around them, and using technology to do that. I mean, a couple techniques that we've introduced to the class are 3D laser scanning, where we actually had Feldman land surveyors come to the house and scan the house so we could create a 3D virtual environment online that we could then put our curatorial information into. We also experimented with photogrammetry, which is using digital cameras basically to photograph an object and then create a 3D online version of that, or at least digital version of that. And also getting them to use wikis, getting them to use different aspects of web design, all for the purpose of telling this story about James Michael Curley. And I think those skills, a lot of skills that, I don't even know how many students knew about laser scanning before our class. I think they'll be able to take this on into their future jobs.
My part of the museum that we're curating focuses on the life of Curley's daughter, and basically the technologies that we're looking to incorporate into the curation are 3D photogrammetry, actually just using our cell phones, really. We've been trying to bring to life a few artifacts that we found from Mary Curley. Other than that, it's just been, seeking out historical significances of her life, and setting up really for the next classes, step in the project.
We have really tried to get students to use technology to try and interpret Curley's life and display Curley's life, especially in this virtual way, by looking at how you can tell someone's story using different types of technology. So video, or putting together online posters or interactive websites on wikis, annotating text, and bringing all these different approaches together to reinterpret someone's life who has never been analyzed this way. So not only are students learning to look at the humanities side, but I think they're also learning to use new technologies in terms of interpreting traditional humanities data.